Tonight, we are discussing Alien Earth Episode 6, titled The Fly. I'm Gil from One Take, here with...
Tony from Hack the Movies.
And Tony, why don't you tell everybody our fun little name of the game here?
Well, in space, no one can hear you scream, but they can hear you super chat.
That's right. We'll be listening.
We got it. Actually, last episode, I think we got our most super chats yet. It was the one that you weren't here for. I think maybe that's a sign. I don't know.
Hopefully, it's not because I wasn't here, but because there was only one of us from One Take. So it was just the right number of people from One Take.
But Gil, before we get into tonight's episode, you weren't here. You picked like the worst time to go on another vacation. It was like the most like praised episode of the show so far. Even people who don't like it, like the show, liked it. I'm like, of course, Gil misses this one.
Thus proving that what people really want is just more of the same. They just wanted them to remake Alien in TV form.
How did you think about my thoughts where I'm like, oh, this is what Alien would have looked like with more enhanced effects and shooting and more violence, and it would look kind of dumb to see that alien running around the ship. How did you feel? Did you like? I liked the episode, even though it was a little silly. How did you feel?
I liked it for a lot of the same reasons. I think the thing that stood out the most for me, though, and I kind of hinted at this with my super chat last week, where I said my theory for why so many of the characters are dumb is because it's hard to write a really intelligent character. So instead, you can just turn down the IQ of every other character, and then they seem really intelligent. But I feel like we've been watching a bunch of morons like bump into each other and scramble around. And then Morrow walks in. And he's the only one talking sense. He's not getting distracted by anything. Every time people start like veering off topic, he's like, there's an alien loose. Here's what we're doing. So I found him it was very satisfying watching him. I think I was worried like everybody else, like another flashback episode. Not another as in we've seen more in this show, but just in general, anytime a TV show like gets momentum, it's like, let's do the flashback episode. But I actually found it really satisfying. And getting annoyed at the characters being dumb made me excited to relive that moment from episode 1 where the lady's knocking on the door and he's like, I'm not letting you in. I'm not going to.
I really enjoyed it. But tonight's episode, we're back. We're back into the main timeline here. I really dug it. I'm not going to say that about every episode, but I'm like, this is really starting to feel like the show I really wanted. We're past the character introductions. We've set up all the motivations and stuff. Now let's see shit really hit the fan. And shit is hitting the fan this episode.
Yeah, we finally saw what was in that bulbous plant thing that's been growing.
Yeah, you know what? I thought that would be a bigger... They showed it in the last episode, but I couldn't tell that was the plant. I saw the
we saw the bug?
No, the plant has the tentacle coming out of it.
Oh, so where did the flies come from?
I think those might be those leeches.
Those are the leeches? Oh, okay.
I could be wrong.
Okay.
I could be wrong because we counted. Remember, was it at 5 species? It's the bulb, the eye, the alien, the leeches.
Bulb. Yep. Bulb, I guess alien, leeches, xenomorph.
I guess the fly. Well, I said the alien.
Oh yeah.
Alien, eyeball, flower thing, leeches. So either the flies are a thing that we haven't really seen yet, or we forgot, or they're the leeches evolved. I think maybe they might be a new thing actually.
Yeah, I like the episode overall too. I mean, I would say like for better or worse, I feel like it carried on pretty much all of the show's traits consistently. Yeah, which is there's the stuff I love that's kind of wrapped in a lot of the dumber stuff. Yeah. I feel like I had to bring my metaphorical Daniel hat that I'll put on from time to time this episode because we need to have the complainer represented while we're talking through all this.
I liked right away we see the alien. And I like that it's like constantly shedding. If you saw it had like pieces of skin like coming off of it. Because we never really get to see the shedding process in the other movies except for Alien Resurrection or Alien versus Predator Requiem where you can't see it, so it doesn't matter. So I like that it's growing really, really fast. That was the thing. Like the facehugger was supposed to stay on you for days. Chest burster comes out like a day later, and then the thing grows really fast. The movies have been fucking that up. So it's nice to see like develop how it would in the first movie. And it's cool that they actually get to see it this time. I know it doesn't really work for horror. You don't want to see it, but we've already had that so many times. It's fun this time. Like, hey, look, there it is. It's getting
Yeah,
bigger.
that's like the point I keep making, which is like
Yeah.
the mystique is gone. Like we've
Yeah.
seen the xenomorph a million times, so now let's look at it from another angle, like the more fun or the fun sci-fi angle. And
Yeah.
like to your point, not only are we seeing it grow kind of slowly, but now we get to spend more time with it in each
Yeah.
stage. And it's fun seeing it crawl around and it's kind of like terrible twos, like toddler adolescent stage, and
Yeah.
just seeing Wendy's interactions with it and the way it kind of like looks back at her. I mean, I think one of the things the show does best is just the way that aliens stare at you. The
Yeah.
sheep and the xenomorph. And you just see like, I think I see intelligent behind their eyes, or in the sheep's case, one eye.
Yeah. Or the alien's case, no eyes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Just like a curling lip that it,
Yeah.
this weird
I'm
lip curl that
wondering.
it does.
I'm really wondering if I know she was weird to begin with, Wendy or Mazzy, as they're now calling her by her proper Christian name. They I wonder if they're starting to like manipulate her because she has this whole thing with her brother where the brother is just like, yeah, come back with me and we'll be a normal, regular family. It's like,
Right.
that's not gonna happen, you idiot. But I feel like she's just like, look, she's starting to sympathize with the alien a little too much.
Yeah.
She's like, they didn't mean to be here. And she's like, there's a lot of organisms that have a hive-like mentality, and maybe I don't want to be human. I'm like, oh, is she communicating with the alien, whatever psychic thing they're doing? They're like, hey, you're one of us, right? You're talking to us. We're talking to you.
Yeah, one of my favorite lines in the episode is when she says, the pronunciation is tricky. I love just when someone makes a statement where it takes you a second or two to realize like the shocking thing behind that, which
Yeah.
is she's starting to learn their language, or at least
Yeah.
she thinks she's communicating with it. And I feel like the turn she's taking would annoy me. Like the idea of you've got a robot, they're going to turn on humanity. It's the most obvious route to go. But
Yeah.
I think here it's a little bit more interesting, at least the angle through which they're doing it. On one hand, she has that thing where she says something like, I want to see the world as it really is. I don't want to feel the world. So it's like she doesn't want to be distracted and clouded by emotions. She's following
Yeah.
the Boy Cavalier route of I want to gain as much intelligence as possible, become a super genius like him. And then there is probably the one that's the most similar to what we've seen before is where, yeah, she's starting to sympathize with the alien over people. Like, people kill each other.
Yeah.
This alien didn't ask to be here, and she starts to see them more as individuals. Like, the thing tried to kill us. She's like, not that xenomorph. That was a different one.
Yeah.
If
It's
she
like,
starts
well,
to find out they have a bit of a hive mind, that she might start to change her tune a little bit.
she's like, they don't kill each other because alien resurrection hasn't happened yet. And I didn't see that scene where they kill the one alien to break out. What happens when a queen just like gets introduced at some point? Will she just like listen to it, or will she be like,
Yeah.
I just have to communicate with the queen to tell her aliens to stop killing us? Like, that's not gonna work, lady.
It's going to be that scene in The Simpsons where the kids have to choose if they want to go back to their family or go with like the Flanders.
Oh,
like
yeah.
on one side, like the Flanders, it's all wonderful and awesome. Then she looks back at the Simpsons like in a swamp and just
Well,
pick
it was
between the two of them.
it was Homer, Lisa, and Bart that Maggie wasn't sure on.
Right,
Then Marge
right.
shows up and she's like, okay.
I guess
Marge
Marge
shows
would
up
be
like
the,
Pocahontas with like the animals in the wind.
so the equivalent will be the Queen shows up, and that's going to make up
Yeah.
Wendy's mind. I do have a feeling a queen is going to come at some point because I feel like everybody's sleeping on the xenomorph. People in the reviews are talking about how it's kind of weird how the xenomorph is really not the most dangerous thing on there. That I think maybe seems even worse.
Yeah.
But
I think is really starting to steal the show. It's really starting to steal the show.
No, I feel like he's got to be so annoyed at the end of this episode. He's like, the egg door is open. The fly door is open. Somebody open my door. Come on. And I love how just when all this crap is going down, like when Slightly is having Arthur get face hugged, you have the xenomorph watching, you have the sheep watching, you have Kirsch watching over the camera. Just a lot of
Okay.
people just watching all this chaos going on.
What the hell is wrong with the security at this place? Why is there not a room just full of people whose job, Gil, it is to just look at the cameras constantly? No one is ever that kid gets at. By the way, the flies also have acid. I guess they have.
And he
acid
just
as
spits
well.
acid all over his face.
I guess in space, acid is just a common form of blood that we're just.
Yeah, to them
like-
it's weird. They're like, wait, how come when I cut you, it didn't like burn a hole in my
Yeah.
hole?
Yeah, so this kid is dead for a while. And no one, I mean, the one person who checks the camera is the
Arthur.
asshole. Well, him, but like what's the robot name? The Timothy Oliphant robot.
Oh, Kirsch.
Kirsch, who's being weird and keeping it
Yeah.
to himself. So we really need to figure out what's up with him. And the guy they fire right in the beginning, which we should talk about that plot line. But yeah, that guy they fire is like the one who realizes that he finally gets a notification after a while. Again, after a while, he gets a notification, and it was on a monitor in his room. I guess he had a lot of things on his mind. He did just lose his job, but I'm just like, is no one paying attention here? How?
Yeah.
What's the point of having all
Let me
this?
I'm gonna put my Daniel hat on for a second.
Yeah.
And this is like a monumental leap in technology for humanity. You've got these like $1 trillion a piece hybrids walking around. The first time a human brain has been downloaded into a robot, and you don't have like I guess they have a tracker on it, but you don't have like an alert system set up. That's like if one of these goes down or something goes wrong with it, send out an alert, like a 10 bell alarm. Like we lost one.
Here's another one. By the way, when he is trying to give him information on Wendy, he like looks at the camera
Yeah.
and he's like, "I gotta be quiet." But me, who's been watching the whole episode, I'm like, who gives a fuck? No one's watching.
Nobody's watching anyway.
It's just there for show. I think. I don't think it's even real. Shit. What was I just talking about? Sorry, I trailed off. What was I?
You talking about Arthur?
The lab. Why aren't there? I know you can't have humans there because the face huggers want a biological host and everything. But why aren't there just like 3 or 4 hybrids in there at all times? Because that thing with the door where he rips the door off and he's just like, "Oh no, I guess I'll just open the door to the fly thing." Someone else could be like, "Hey, that's a bad idea."
Yeah, see,
or if someone wasn't there, they could have let him out when he got locked in.
Right, at least so you can write off him making a poor decision because he's a kid, so he's stupid. Yeah. There's no precautions being taken anywhere here or anywhere else in this whole facility. I'll point it out before. I mean, I think someone in the comments already pointed this out too. But when Arthur comes in and he sees, I think his name is Toodles. It was like, first off, you're sending somebody into a lab that's going to have to deal with the 5 of the most dangerous species humanity's ever come into contact with. Send Toodles. He's the man we can count on. The Arthur comes in, he sees Toodles dead, and he just opens the door and runs in.
Yeah.
Whatever killed him is still in there. And he's machinery. You're a squishy human. You probably don't stand a chance against them.
Also, they're dead. Why just call help and be like, "Hey, that guy's dead in there."
And also, you got fired. Get out of there.
Well, I'd love to help, but I don't work here anymore.
Yeah. I have a theory though about Kirsch, because there is the question, like, what is he up to and why is he not reporting? He's been watching all of this. He's been watching Slightly talking to Morrow. He watched everything go down in the lab. And when Boy's like, "Everything okay?" He's like, "Affirmative." I feel like the obvious route is that there's some form of sabotage going on. Like every previous Alien movie, he wants things to go wrong. And maybe he can't do it himself, but he's like Batman. I don't have to save you. I can stand back and let it happen.
Well, he's got like a weird relationship with Morrow too. They're on the elevator and they're talking about like the difference, like how he's a cyborg and he's full synthetic. I wonder how he's being manipulated or how he became sentient enough to want to betray Cavalier. To like what end?
Yeah, and maybe I'm giving too much credit to the show, but I feel like that's so obvious. I hope that's not the route they go. And I wonder if part of the twist will be that Kirsch is not actually breaking any orders, that what he's been told to do is give as much leeway as he can to the hybrids. We want to see what they do, even if it means some of them getting destroyed. Don't let Wendy get hurt. That's kind of maybe the one hard line Boy will draw. But we know that he really doesn't. He's very overestimates his own intelligence. So you could see him being egotistical and saying, "I can handle this. Nothing's going to go wrong." Overconfidence. So maybe he's basically said, like, give them as much leeway as you can, and only when it gets to a boiling point and you really need to pull me in, do that. And so it's up to Kirsch to decide. It's still a relatively contained situation. Arthur died. I don't care. We lost Toodles, but it's not yet at that point where I have to raise the red flag and say, "Boy, we may have a problem."
Also, letting it happen revealed who like the mole is. It's what's his face who's working for Morrow. How he needs to get like a human host for the alien.
Right. No, he already knew that, or Kirsch knew it at least because he was listening.
Oh,
into
that's
their
true. He's been,
communications.
so then he's checking. I think maybe he's like building a case. It's just he's letting it get way too out of hand when he already has the proof. But in this robot mind, maybe he's like, I need to be 100,000% sure. Classic alien fashion. The vents are gigantic and super clean.
Yeah, it's two lessons I've taken from movies is if you go into the sewers, you will find a kingdom underground, and if you go into vents, it's basically like a smaller hallway that can get you anywhere you need to go.
And it's always super. Open up any vent in your house right now; it's going to be pristine in there. Can we talk about why Arthur got fired?
Please.
Because Redhead, our favorite derpy-faced robot lady, after her little meltdown last episode, or the 2 episodes ago, they put her to sleep and they're going through her and they're realizing her problem is not physical, has nothing to do with the machinery.
She's not pregnant.
State. Yes, she's not pregnant. They said that she had trauma going into this, and I'm like, all right, well now you guys are really mean. I thought maybe they hired her because she was stupid and they thought it'd be funny, but now I'm like, you guys are really mean. She should not be in this program, or at least not walking around. Like, she's a liability. You don't want to give that one super robot strength. So the one guy, the fancy British man who's like second in command, I guess, the Boy Cavalier.
Oh yeah, I looked up his name, Atom, like Atom.
Yes, he's like, hey, delete all her memories right up until before the crash.
And slow her processing speed or something like that.
Yes. And they're like, no, we can't do that. Or Arthur's like, I can't do that. And he's like, all right, you're fired. Your wife still works here, which is awkward, but you're fired. Goodbye.
Yeah, which I like him standing up for what he believes there. I kind of wish it's weird that they're husband and wife. Like it gets brought up a couple of times here and there. And to me, it kind of feels like the reverse engineering of, okay, Arthur's probably going to die. He gets face hugged at the end of the episode. No one's going to really care. So we got to throw some character development in there. Because so far, all we've established is that he has low sperm count.
Yeah.
So let's say on top of that, he's Dame's husband. But it's like after he got fired for standing up for something and her not backing him and saying, I don't need him, I can do this myself. There's no conversation between them after that we see. So it kind of feels like she doesn't care and the show doesn't care that he dies.
So you think maybe like in writing or like planning it, they're like, let's make them a couple just so there's some element.
Yeah, to try and add some dramatic weight to what happened. To both him dying and to that, are you going to stand up for these hybrid kids or not? So now it's like on top of standing up for your principal, you're going against your wife.
So then Redhead, they erase her memory, they do all that stuff, but for whatever reason, they didn't tell everyone they were going to do this. So she wakes up and Wendy's like, remember the crash and all the aliens? She's
remember
like,
how weird it was when you said you're pregnant?
And she's like, what the hell are you talking? And like you said, they slowed down her processing. So she's like, what? I did what? And she's like, I don't remember. I'm like,
I love the way she phrased it.
You can't just erase 7 weeks and then not tell everyone to like dance around certain subjects. You just undid the whole thing that you just did.
Yeah, especially, they've kind of positioned Wendy as not exactly the confidant, but she is kind of like the quasi leader of the kids. Like she's the one who initially welcomed them all. So I feel like Dame would have pulled her aside and been like, listen, Wendy, Nibs had a little problem and we nibbed it in the bud. But we're going to need you to not bring up some of the stuff that happened for the last week.
It's like 50 First Dates, how the whole town is in on it. With the girl's memory. Remember they all pretended.
I never watched that movie.
It's all right. So Gil, I'm going to pretend to like Happy Gilmore too, even though it sucks. But didn't watch 50 First Dates, which granted isn't great of a movie, but she remembers the same day over and over again because she has brain damage and the whole town's in on it. So they have like the same newspaper over and over again.
Okay.
But then there's some days where like something breaks her system, like she gets new information and she doesn't know how to handle it. And she like goes nuts. And then Dan Aykroyd makes a joke about his balls being big. You should check it out. It's the tail end of his good movies.
So we can only hope that that's basically the structure of episode 7.
well, what I'm saying is they should have went to everyone and be like, don't mention the crash. Don't mention the alien to her. We're going to ease her into this.
Or at least.
Instead, as soon as she wakes up, there's aliens. There was a crash.
At minimum, monitor her. You just, especially her. She's psychologically sensitive at the moment and has been. And so you just throw her out there into the deep end.
By the way, I feel like we just set up like if this was a sitcom, that'd be a Kramer moment where everyone's on board, be like, don't tell her about anything. Then Kramer walks in like, hey, remember that alien? What alien? Kramer!
I will say, like, this is some of the stuff I do love in the show, though. Like, putting aside some of the craziness around it, but getting at that question of what makes us human. And so when you start talking about erasing some of her memories, slowing down her processing speed, like, it brings up that question of how many of these little tweaks would you have to make to then make her a different, like, at what point have you essentially killed someone and replaced them with an entirely other person? Like, the way they phrase it in the show is that we don't know what impact this would have on her identity, her functioning psychology.
We're getting into some Swamp Thing territory. I don't know how much you know about Swamp Thing, the DC character.
Yeah, I know a bit. I read, I think all of Alan Moore's run.
Okay, Alan Moore's run is the one that introduces, like, oh no, he's actually not that guy who turned into a plant monster.
Anatomy Lesson.
Yeah.
I think that was the name of the first one he did.
Yeah, it's just like, oh no, Swamp Thing this whole time has just been its own organism that just got that guy's memory. So there's this whole identity crisis.
Yeah.
So I like how this show is doing that. It's like, are we the same person if we were just copied into this? Or are we a new thing that just has all that person's experiences and stuff? Which is interesting. That's one thing I like about that Swamp Thing run. I never got more than a few episodes in the new show. I heard it was good, and then they canceled it.
I think they canceled it before it even came out. So
yeah, that was that's why I didn't watch it. I liked what I saw of it. I really want to finish it. It just didn't stream anywhere afterwards. But anyway, I like that idea. Like, am I my own unique thing, or am I just a copy? And I think the show is exploring it pretty well, especially with Derpy Redhead. She's the one who's struggling with this the most. Whereas Wendy is like, I'm all in on just being a robot. This is great. The other ones just aren't even asking the questions. They're just pretending like nothing has changed. They're like, oh, we're slightly bigger bodies. Yeah. The one guy's like, oh man, being grown up sucks. And it's just funny seeing an adult say it.
It was that was one moment. There were a couple moments, like a little heartbreaking this episode. Like one is when Joe is talking to Wendy. He's like, don't worry, I'm working on a plan to get us out of here. Yeah. And she's like, I don't really want to go. I kind of like it here. I feel like it maybe would have landed a little more effectively if at any point we believed she would have left with him. But they kind of went right from she's your sister to she's not quite who you remember, and there was never any hope that she was going to go with him. Yeah, but it does kind of work that that we know that, but he doesn't realize it yet. So you have that moment of realization. But also when I think Smee is his name, Slightly's friend, and he's like, "Why can't we just play games like we used to?" And Slightly's like, I got to take care of this one thing, and then we can play all the games you want. And I kind of felt bad for him. But at the same time, I was like, I don't know if do I need this story in this show? Well, whatever, I'll go with it. Yeah, it's not why I watch Alien, but it was a nice moment. I loved Slightly this whole episode because, I mean, at no point do you have any confidence that he's going to be able to pull off what Morrow wants.
He really lucks into it accidentally. He's trying to get the brother just because he hates the brother.
Yeah.
But there's so many other options he could go to. I don't know why he's just lasered on the brother, other than he hates him for personal reasons.
I feel like part of it is like they've set up this idea that he cares about doing the right thing. So he's convinced himself the brother is a bad guy. It's okay if I kill him or put him in harm's way.
Right. And the brother had that one scene where they pull him away with the other like soldiers. I forget what they were doing though.
But they were on patrol. They were like, I think they're putting out extra patrol because Yutani's going to be sending in some soldiers.
Which we totally forgot to talk about. The Boy Cavalier, Miss Yutani debate or negotiations where they're just throwing billions of dollars around. He's got his fucking feet up on the table. It's
I was excited.
Like, this is the grossest shit.
Yeah, I was excited for this confrontation between the two of them. And it did not disappoint. Not only did we get 1 foot, we got a second foot, spreading his legs on and they're dirty feet too.
Yeah. And he's picking them like, come on, man.
See, at least here, You're like, this is him disrespecting Utani.
Yeah.
So there's a motivation behind the action.
Yeah.
I did find the scene overall disappointing because I wanted Utani to be a really formidable adversary. Not only because it would just be nice to see someone like smack the smug grin off Boy's face, but also I think it would just be more interesting if there was somebody that could actually stand up against Boy. But the moment he brings up, like, well, I could tell everyone about these alien specimens, she immediately folds. And it's like, that was the most obvious move he was going to bring to the table. And she seemed totally unprepared for it. She was completely thrown when he brought that up. And she's like, $50 billion.
Yeah, and I like she gets what she wants. She's like, oh, and after 6 weeks, we'll give him back. She's like, no. It's like, well, there's a rule. It's 6 weeks.
The Brubaker Accords.
It's like, I'll give him back after 6 weeks.
That's a nice bit of world building. Like they have these accords about how to handle alien specimens. You need a 6-week quarantine. It just tells you, I've always been curious about like when did first contact happen in this world. So that gives you some idea that they've had enough experience to have accords.
Well, the Predator, obviously.
Right. Yeah. And every time I bring this up,
evidence of the Predator.
Why do you keep forgetting, Gil?
Yeah, I like that whole negotiation. It was fun. But I like that she's still gonna have troops go in and kill them. But Morrow's just like, we're gonna do some chaos there. We gotta really, because they're like you said, they're increasing their security. So he's just like, let's let some of those fuckers out, take care of a lot of them for us, and then we'll just grab them when we go in.
Yeah.
Because I think I mentioned in the previous episode that there's like that scene from the first trailer where you think it's aliens coming out of the water and it's soldiers.
Oh, that's
100% Morrow and his team coming in.
Yeah,
there.
for sure.
Yeah. So I'm excited to get to that level where they just storm the beach.
Yeah, I love when they're on patrol and Joe's with them. A couple things I love. One, where they bring up how, rumor has it Utani's going to be doing a full frontal assault. And then one of them's like, what are you talking about? We're on an island. And I'm like, nobody in history has ever attacked an island before. We don't have the technology to attack an island in 2120.
Do you think maybe he was confused? He's just like, which part of the island is the front? I don't know. we're an island. Is that the front? I don't know.
A frontal assault. Good luck with that. This island's a circle.
It's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, like Morrow's cyborg brain, like the robot part of it's going to, I cannot locate the front.
Full frontal assault. Like, why are they going to be naked when they attack us? I don't understand these things. That seems like a problem.
I also love Joe's subtlety. He's like, boats are cool, right? My dad used to take me on a boat. Have you guys ever been on a boat before? Like, Joe, whatever you're thinking, shut it down.
But yeah, I dug this episode. It was fun seeing like what aliens were gonna get out of those pods.
Oh yeah,
the containment field thing. I'm trying to think what else happened in the. Did we cover all like the big plot points?
Yeah, I'm scrolling up and down my notes here to see if we missed anything big. We jumped around, but I feel like we covered most of it. I was gonna say, going back to Kirsch and Morrow. I feel like when they were on the elevator together and they had that kind of tense conversation where Kirsch is like, I'm awesome. I'm a machine. Yeah. He's basically like a machine supremacist. Like he sees himself as pure and Morrow is still part human. And Morrow is such an enigma of a character. And I don't really know where he stands on this issue or if he even cares about it. Because he does snipe back at Kirsch where he tells him how he's obsolete. Like they just introduced these new kid hybrids.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's not necessarily subscribing to that belief. It's more like he's just trying to insult Kirsch back.
Yeah.
He's just fighting back. So I don't know if Morrow cares about the fact that he isn't entirely human. I guess we had the one scene early on in the series where he was all sweaty and he was talking about like the orders he was being given. But that had less to do with him being machine and more to do with him getting orders from a corporation to do horrible things.
Yeah.
But I guess we don't fully understand his nature, so we don't know to what extent when he gets those orders, does he have any choice to actually disobey them? How much
he did
have?
disobey Utani a few times.
That's true.
When she's like, come back, he's like, nope. But could that be like whatever's in his head programmed? He's like, well, my program to fulfill my mission overrides direct orders from the company. Because
like maybe if Utani's grandmother gave the order, they're like, shoot, we only programmed it to listen to her and she's dead. We can't.
Yeah. I will say the alien looked really good. I mean, toward the end, I think it was back to being like a man in the suit or the animatronic. But the CGI alien, little baby alien, looked fine.
Yeah.
And again,
Yeah.
I'm glad it grew really fast. I'm like, no, let's not do baby ale. Let's not try to make this the next baby. We don't need baby xenomorph. We just need it for a little bit.
Yeah.
I was afraid we'd be stuck with baby xenomorph for a few episodes. I'm like, that's not.
Well,
I know other movies make them grow too fast, but they also don't grow that slow.
But you have baby Groot, you have the baby in Jurassic World Rebirth.
Yes.
Alien
Baby
franchise
Yoda.
needs one.
Yeah, Baby Yoda. There was a few others. Baby Nut, Mr. Peanut. There was a couple commercials where there was a baby nut. He's not as remembered as the other ones.
Well, where do you think we're going with the Wendy alien connection? So she's talking to this thing, she's learning their language.
Yeah. I think I don't know where it's gonna end up, honestly. I think the aliens are gonna try to recruit her or something. Because
I will say like, it's the most interesting part of the show to me. Like I'm glued to the screen whenever she's talking to that alien.
The funny thing is the aliens probably want to study and experiment with her, really, because they're like, how is something that's not us communicating with us like this? Because I think the alien is just playing along with her. I don't think it. In my mind, it'd be weird if the alien's like, yeah, I am your friend. It actually attacks her the one time she's talking to it.
That's true, yeah.
I think the alien can recognize, like, this is something that shouldn't be able to talk to me, and I really need to study it because it's a threat.
Yeah. We also don't know, like, okay, she's working on the pronunciation, but does she know what she's saying? Is this an actual language, or is it really like rudimentary communication? Like, we don't know how intelligent that thing is. Like, we don't know if we know that there's some degree of xenomorph intelligence, but even that, I don't know if it's individualized or you've got to be part of the hybrid, and then a lot of it's coming from the queen.
Yeah, it depends on. Sometimes when there's less aliens, they're a little bit smarter. Because I guess at some point when there's just hundreds, they're like, well, most of us are cannon fodder. One of us will succeed. We'll just throw a bunch of us in front of the guns for 10 minutes.
Right.
So yeah, I guess also a lot of the aliens we see, aliens are probably the oldest aliens we've seen because there was 2 weeks between them being infected and them starting the hive. But yeah, so we've always dealt with very, very young aliens that were like fresh.
Right.
But I feel like we're going to spend a little bit of time with this one here. And now we have another alien on the way. So I don't know which one from the preview we saw that's going to be running around in the woods. I don't know if it's the one that's already in containment or the one that's going to come out of Arthur.
Right.
At this point. But yeah, I really don't know where it's going to end up with Wendy. And I kind of like that I don't know where it's going to end up. Because it is disappointing sometimes where you just call what's going to happen in the show. But this one, I've been throwing curveballs left and right here. So yeah.
I didn't see. I think when you texted me the picture of Boy with his feet on the table, and you're like, "I'm gonna throw up." I was like, "Yeah." If you told me, or when I was told a couple of years ago, they're making an alien show. Like if I were making a list of things I expect to see, that wouldn't have been anywhere on the list, unless you told me Tarantino was directing.
Yeah. Tarantino's like, this is the best movie ever. I will say this movie is ignoring Romulus's addition of a cocoon. They're getting rid of that element. I think that was just specific to the aliens on Romulus.
Yeah,
Romulus, on FX, Romulus played before the show again, which actually makes me like the show more because then I got to watch the ending of Romulus where I'm like, this is just Alien Resurrection. Why did they do this? And then I see something fresh and new in Alien Earth. I'm like, they should always play Romulus right before Alien Earth.
All right, should we look at super chats?
We have 2, yes. Get your super chats in.
I'm scrolling.
Yeah.
Wishmaster98, thank you for the $5. Hey, Tony and Gil, the more and more these episodes go on with these hybrids are going to lead to the creation of the Autons, like Cole from Resurrection.
Autons. Do you remember? I think I mentioned in a previous episode. Do you remember the whole backstory with Winona Ryder and Resurrection?
Those are like second generation machines, like
it's like they were robots designed by robots. Yeah, and they didn't like being told what to do, and they like rebelled and stuff. And they are like more human. Like Winona Ryder's character in that is pretty interesting because she's like a robot and she has more sympathy and compassion than anyone on the ship because everyone else is an asshole and Ripley's kind of like half alien, so you can't really trust her.
Right. And she like hates herself for being a robot. She's like, I'm disgusting.
Yeah. So yeah, part of me would have said, if you asked me this question like a year ago, I'd been like, no, they're not going to mention anything about resurrection. But as I said, since Romulus just stole the ending of that movie, I'm like, maybe they will build up the alien resurrection. I don't know anymore.
I do like how I think the director of that movie said, like, his kids pointed it out to him. They were like, this is kind of like what happened in Resurrection. And he was like, oh, yeah, shoot.
What the fuck? How do you mess that up? Hey, yo, I'm working on a Terminator movie, and I just wrote the end of the script. They fight in a molten steel factory.
Like, get this, Gil. What if the robot goes back in time?
Yeah.
I was like, Sylvester Stallone was saying he has an idea for a Rocky 7, and he's like, it's like he trains this really angry kid who's coming up in boxing, and he trains him, and I'm like, did you see Creed?
Yeah, well, one, you tried that in Rocky 5, and then you did it again in Creed.
You've done it twice.
You've done it twice, and it did well the last time. Let that keep going. I'll watch more Creed movies. Yeah, that's so bizarre. It's like, no, you've already done this, old man.
Big Bro Cook, thank you for the $4.99. Any movies you'd like to see get a series like this? I'd want 28 Months Later or a Sunshine Show.
Oh, I don't understand because 28 months after already exists.
Yeah, it's a bit redundant.
No, I actually Sunshine. I don't know, a show in the Sunshine universe. I don't think
like what's unique in that universe. It's been so long since I saw that movie, but I don't remember there being a big hook that would make that universe different from this one, other than like the specific premise of what was happening on that ship.
The only wiggle room is that they come across the first failed ship and the crazy guys in there who killed everyone. I guess you could do a prequel about that, but then it's like, who cares? Because we already know that one crazy guy is going to kill the crew and just wait for the other ship to come.
Right.
7 years later. Like, it doesn't.
Well, the one thing I do remember them saying, they had ideas for more Sunshine. Like, I feel like they wanted to make it a trilogy. So if
we have to do it again.
Yeah.
It's like, what? They make a point to say that there's not enough raw material on Earth to make that anymore. They're like, we did it once. We had a backup. We're fucked after this. So
well, I remember, what other movies should get a series? I remember Rocky. Stallone was saying you wanted to do a Rocky prequel, so we could do that.
That'd be boring.
I know. I was like, the point of Rocky, that you were seeing the interesting part of it. Like, that was the story. If there was more interesting stuff before that, that's the movie they would have made.
I'm trying to think, like, what kind of like horror or sci-fi could work?
Predator?
Predator, if you went like season by season, was its own unique story. That I would do.
Right. Even if they went animated, like Killer of Killers.
Yeah, cool. I'd be fine with that.
I actually think animated is a good way to go for a lot of these. Like Terminator Zero, it gives you so much more flexibility, like budget wise, and because it's more niche, I feel like they'll be a bit more hands off in the creative direction you go.
Yeah, I would love a Hellraiser series.
You
could do a lot with that. I mean, they've already done it with the movies. Like, there's people who sin in many different ways and have different like temptations and stuff. You can have a lot of fun with like a Hellraiser series. Just like, you make it very formulaic. Like, hey, there's a bad guy who finds the box, or it's a good guy who finds the box, and Pinhead comes at the end.
Yeah.
That could be a fun one. I would actually really, really dig a Hellraiser series.
That would be cool. I second that one, and then I'll put mine as Planet of the Apes.
Yes,
they did an animated show and a live action show like in the 70s or 80s. Yeah. But I feel like you could do that now.
In
cool.
This new continuity. Yeah. Maybe
or the series could bridge the gap between the new and the old continuity. And then they could throw in the Tim Burton continuity too.
Yeah, which would make no sense.
The multiverse works every time. People love it.
But yeah, that's all I really can think about. 28 years later, like a show that takes place in that universe would be really cool to see, like, every year how it got worse and worse in the 28 days timeline.
Yeah, that would be cool, but I wouldn't really trust anybody to do that other
Yeah.
than Danny Boyle and Alex Garland, and I feel like there's no way they would commit to a series.
Yeah. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else is there? I didn't watch the preview for next week, but I don't think you watch previews, right?
No, usually not. I think I said that in the first episode. I was like, we don't watch the previews. And then you were like, so anyway, on the preview, we saw this. So then I was like, what the hell? I'll just start watching them.
Well, yeah, that's how I get my thumbnails. I like look for a shot in the preview. But yeah, good episode. Good episode. Things are moving faster in the show now.
Yeah. Solid episode. Only 2 left until we have one more than the finale.
I'm going to do my best. I might have to miss next week, but I'm going to try not to.
Don't make me do it with Daniel.
Because I have to shoot the episode. I have an episode that got rescheduled that day, but we're doing it early at like 6. So I think I can wrap it up before the show ends.
All right. So you heard Tony. There might not be a stream next week. We'll see.
Yeah, you guys should still stream. What are you talking about?
Wait, can I still stream it to your channel?
100%. You bet.
Oh, I'm doing it. I love it. Oh, I get to be in Tony's house and I get to come over and stream from your place, right?
But yeah, I'm going to try not to miss next week. Okay.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. I can't hold it against you if you do.
But yeah, and the next episode, it's gonna be a while, right? Yeah, there are. It's funny. I wish there were more episodes now that we're at this point. Everything was established. We got the flashback episode. Things are moving. I'm like, oh, can we get like 4 or 5 more episodes to see all this shit go down?
Yeah, and they haven't. I don't think there's been an announcement for future seasons, other than we know the showrunner wants to do them.
Yeah,
but hopefully we get more.
Yeah, hopefully. I feel like I think the buzz has gotten better with the show. I think on my end.
I mean, it is weird. I feel like with this show, you walk from one world to another. In one world, it's amazing. Like if you look at what the critics are saying in general, I feel like it's pretty high praise. And then there's no in between. Like I think the average citizen will give like an in between rating. Like the show's okay. It's got some dumb stuff. But online, it's like it's amazing. It's a masterpiece. It's a return to form. Or it's like this show is the worst. It's atrocious.
Let me check. Because I said that last episode was really good and probably won a lot of people over. Adam Does Movies is still calling his recaps recrap.
I meant to say welcome to tonight's recrap. I forgot.
So I don't think the show has won him over yet, Gil, unfortunately.
Yeah. I do. I have a theory about the show, which is Noah Hawley. He previously did the Fargo show, where characters in Fargo act stupid all the time, and nobody complains about it because it's partly done for humor. It's some kind of satire or whatever. I feel like he brought a lot of that into this show, but then maybe they were like, I don't know if this works.
Yeah.
And so they started to pull back. And then it ends up in this weird in-between spot where you have characters being dumb, but not for any satirical ends other than corporations are terrible, right?
Yeah.
And you know it's on purpose, because if you watch last episode, there's a guy who literally just like doesn't understand what certain words mean. Like, if you split your pie in half, you'll have 2 holes. And questionable if the character actually fell for it or was just trying to be nice and giving him pie. But the fact that he thought he would fall for it says that he's used to people in this world falling for such stupid things.
Yeah.
So it's to me, it's clearly on purpose. Like it's not just sloppy writing. I just don't know to what end. And so my only theory is they were trying for some satirical angle that I feel like isn't there enough. So you end up in this weird in-between spot that just doesn't work.
Maybe it will make sense at some point, though. Maybe once it's done, we'll look back and be like, actually, that was perfect the whole time.
Yeah, episode 8, they're all going to pull these alien worms out of their brains and be like, we were infected. What were we doing? You opened that door before? How come nobody's monitoring all these kids?
Doesn't make any
worms
sense.
Are making...
Why is the door to feed the alien so easy to break? Like, I know he's super strong, but like that door should be stronger than him, really.
Yeah. It's the gas leak season from Community. Do you know about that?
No.
Where so Dan Harmon was running that show. He got fired for a season, and then they brought him back.
Yeah.
So anytime they referred to events from that season, because characters were acting out of character, the writing wasn't as good, they would say, "Oh, remember that gas leak last year?" So they wrote it all off as like we were all acting different because of a gas leak.
That's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Oh, funny enough, this episode was titled The Fly. I think me and Daniel were talking last week about like he thought it was going to be like a Breaking Bad thing. It wasn't a bottle episode. I've only learned recently that people don't like that episode.
Yeah, I remember hearing that at the time, and I was like, I love that episode. I don't know, I'm getting used to that. Where like 28 years later, I'm like, I thought that was amazing.
Well, people are like, it was just in one place. I'm like, yeah, it's a bottle episode. Other shows have this. Like, I understood what it was, but I'm like, oh, okay.
I loved. I feel like last week's live stream was a bottle episode. You guys couldn't afford the budget to have me there, but I enjoyed. I listened listening to like the first 10 minutes of it, just you and Daniel talking past each other. Yeah. Daniel's like, "Oh yeah, remember that bottle episode?" And you're like, "Well, that's not really a bottle episode. Like this." Oh, no. And then you were like, "What'd you think of that guy getting his head ripped off?" And then Daniel was just like, "Yeah." So also, this like just I don't know what was happening.
Yeah, really great job, Gil.
I think just couldn't hear you. You were just so quiet. There are the Oreos with Reese's filling. And then there are the Reese's with little bits of Oreo in them. That's the one I'm really interested in, but it is sold out everywhere. The only thing I can get my hands on was the Oreos with the Reese's filling. And my quick review is that, they're pretty good, but I feel like the shell of an Oreo, it's not like milk chocolate where it's super creamy, which is why the cream is such a nice contrast to the chocolate outside. Okay. So when you get rid of the cream and you replace it with peanut butter, it ends up being pretty heavy. It's a little bit too rich. They're not bad. I'm going to keep eating them, but I'm looking forward to the true Reese's version. I have them on order. I think they'll be here at the end of the week, so hopefully I can report
how
back.
dedicated you are to the Reese's. You gave me so much shit for reviewing 28 Days starring Sandra Bullock in our episode as a joke, and here you are going on a rant, like really breaking down the Oreo.
At the end of the episode, I waited until the end. You started... I was like, everyone always says on YouTube, the most important thing is retaining that attention right at the start. And you call it, what's the best 28 Days Later movie? The first 20 minutes is talking about Sandra Bullock's 28 Days. And I'm like, Tony, my time is valuable. And I'm watching 28 Days and like preparing thoughts on it. And then when I turned on 28 months later, I was like, Tony, I have to draw the line somewhere. I'm not watching this.
I love I got one comment that was like screaming at me for the bit, and I just replied, "Bit?" question mark.
Yeah, I love your commitment to the bit. That's never in doubt.
The problem I have. But anyway, thank you for breaking down the Oreo, the Reese's Oreo. Just an update. I forget if I mentioned it before. I finally found the Jason beer. I finally found the Jason cider. I reviewed it over on the second channel. I did a live stream from the same bar at my sister's house that I did last episode. We both finally found some products we wanted to consume after.
Well, so what was the give everyone a little? Maybe don't say how it was, because just give a little tease so they watch your video.
We had 4 flavors. We really liked one, and one was okay, and the other 2 were terrible. But you'll have to go and watch and see which one it is. That's
good. That's a good tease. I actually I met Jason because I went to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal.
I didn't realize you were down there.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Royce texted me. He said the Friday 13th maze is awesome. Was it?
It was good. At first I was a little disappointed because it was so repetitive. It was just like Jason pops out, Jason pops out,
and it's the new Jason, right? The new face.
I think it happened so fast it was hard for me to register. But in the second half of the maze, they got more creative. They started bringing in like different variations of Jason and stuff. So it was good. Yeah, they had the drinks there too, but I didn't get any. I'll say in terms, there's all these videos that are like the 10 foods you have to try at Halloween Horror Nights. Having tried a bunch of the food there, I'll say you don't need to try any of it. It is all terrible.
Yeah, most theme parks just grab the cheapest thing you can. Who cares? Don't go nuts. Don't drink butterbeer at Universal. It's just birch.
It's pretty tasty though.
It's just birch beer with like a buttery topping. You could just buy birch beer and not have the butter. It's actually better.
Yeah, I mean, Rob K in the chat, it's like, Gil, you can just buy Oreos and dip them in peanut butter.
And don't even start it on the Flamin' Mo. No fire, no NyQuil. Bullshit. All right, now we're reviewing theme park food. We should wrap it up.
I know, I'm having fun. I don't want it to end. Okay, I have one more thing.
Okay.
I have a theory I've been working on.
All right.
Because I'm trying to reconcile why I keep having such a different opinion from everybody else on certain things.
Yes.
Like 28 years later, for example.
Although I'm on the same boat with you. Actually, most people, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people I know liked it. But then again, I think I only talked about Lauren Soda. She loved it. So you and Lauren are enough for me to be like, this movie's good.
Right. But and then Alien Earth, I'll put in a similar boat where I'm not saying I love the show. I wish it was better. Yeah. Actually, I have a question. If we weren't reviewing the show every week, would you be watching it like religiously? You have to watch it as soon as it comes out?
As soon as it came out, if I wasn't a reviewer, as someone who has been burnt by the Alien franchise over and over and over again, I probably would have waited until it was done.
Okay.
Like, or at least the first season was done, and then I would have binged it.
Gotcha.
But since I review it and I know a lot about Alien, I had to. I was always going to review this. I wasn't planning to do live recaps for every episode. You came up with that idea. But I was always going to watch this as it aired. But no, if I was just a regular Joe Schmo, didn't talk about this, I would have waited until it was done.
Yeah, I think probably same for me. I would have waited, and then I would have asked you, like, is that worth watching? And then I would have decided.
Yes, that's this kind of show.
Yeah. Anyway, I know I was going on a tangent there, and now I just feel really tired, so I'm just going to shut that down. We'll pick it up another time.
Yeah, I'm on a lack of sleep. I was on a phone call yesterday, and I didn't get home super late.
Yeah, it's like, yo, could you stop talking about Oreos and wrap this up? All right, everybody. Thank you, and have a good night. At least one of us, possibly both of us, will be here next week, but definitely we'll be here the following week for the finale. We'll be live at 9:30 like every week, and we'll break it all down. So thank you, everyone, and have a good night.